Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Ken Malager in for Jeremy Grunin. You are listening to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, streaming live at WOBMAM.com, 1160 and 1310 on your radio AM dial and on the radio pup app at 1160 News Talk Radio, broadcasting from the beautiful Town Square Media Tower in downtown Toms River. Please join our conversation at 732-505-1160. I am very pleased that this year's planting season and more brings the Master Gardeners of Ocean County into our studio today. With us live is Susan Servideo, a coordinator master gardener, Tom Barnes, the Master Gardener Chair, TICS Committee and TIC Labs, and Maryann Stickney, the Master Gardener Co-Chair of Publicity and Co-Chair of the Herb Committee. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
We have a rambunctious group of gardeners here with us this morning, and we are looking forward to asking many questions about the Master Gardeners specifically, about the planting season. Speaking of the planting season, rain, and more rain. When are we going to get to plant this year?
Best time to plant is going to probably be waiting till May 15th. With this colder temperatures, all this rain, it's not conducive to having happy tomato plants. So you would need to...
and of course, tomato plants being what many of our listeners probably are into throughout the summer season, the planting season.
Yes, because the stores have them on.
Right, exactly.
They have them out there.
They're out there. Tom, why don't you want to plant with wet soil? What?
Well, soil has a structure to itself. Mm-hmm. And when you start to move around this structure, the integrity of the soil starts to fail. So you want to keep it as less movement, and there's a compaction that can happen. So you don't want that to happen for the root system. You're compacting a soil, and you're expecting a newly planted plant or vegetable to go into a soil, and it's fighting as it first starts.
Right. So you want to make sure that you give it the best environment, and that, of course, is not these rainy, cold days that we've been having as of late. Evenings, yeah. So that evening important temperature, Maryann, where does that have to be, in other words, to plant our herbs, to feel comfortable that they will thrive for the season? What are we looking for?
Bottom line is it's a Mediterranean Sea coastal area that herbs originally came from. Mm-hmm. And all of the wonderful, say, basil, chives, coriander, dill, etc., should be planted when the night time is higher than 58 degrees Fahrenheit. So all these wonderful herbs that we can purchase locally at box stores, nurseries, and, of course, at our plant sale, we're really growing them well. We suggest that it be definitely 58 degrees, so you might have to wait until June.
Really? Yeah. So it's going to be a later season, right, Susan?
Yes. Hopefully we don't have to wait till June. I would love it to put everything
might be. I know a lot of my Memorial Day brides have been in Memorial Day weekend brides in the last couple of weeks finalizing their plans, and they're wondering if they're going to have to bring in heaters because it's quite chilly at night.
Yes, it is, especially if the bride is going to be dancing in the evening garden, etc., with her guests. It would be very helpful if it were warmer.
Absolutely. Now, Maryann, you alluded to the plant sale coming up. Now, I'm not going to hold this against you guys because this directly undercuts my business, but I will, with a smile,
one day,
encourage our right. Thank you, Susan. Encourage our listeners to please visit your plant sale. Give us some more information about that.
All right. Bottom line is we have annuals, and many of the annuals that Ken features in his floral shop are found in our particular plant sale.
Absolutely.
And they're gorgeous, unique ones. The bloom plant, for instance, I find is very. I only saw one 2 years ago, and I was just astounded at how it looks and how pretty it is. But there are other conventional flowers that you have. There are perennials that keep on giving every year. You don't do anything to them, and you just wait for them to bloom and make you feel good. The other thing would be your vegetables, and we have plenty of vegetables.
Right.
We have the
I love how you say that,
eggplant.
Maryann. You pronounce all of the syllables in vegetable.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you
that.
very much.
I
I
love
didn't
it.
notice that,
I
but
love
thank
that.
you.
Yes.
We've got the eggplant. We have the tomatoes, several kinds of tomatoes. The primary one that we're emphasizing is the Rutgers Heirloom 250. As you know, Rutgers is in business for 250 years.
Tremendous.
And celebrating this year with great emphasis. They brought out of their vaults the Heirloom 250, and it looks very good, very healthy. We've got several flats of them that are available. We have yellow squash. We have cucumbers, zucchini, and watermelons.
Oh,
my favorite.
tremendous.
They're huge. They don't come to life in Jersey, I think, until about the fall.
Right.
That we can grow our own and actually eat it. As someone said to me, it will take all summer to grow it, but it only takes about 2 hours to finish off the whole melon.
Right,
So-
right. Oh, that's tremendous. That's tremendous. Tom, about this, the Rutgers Heirloom tomato, the 250, is that going to be best for eating or saucing? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing saucing.
Okay.
I'm hearing that a lot of people are using for sauce, but that doesn't keep it away from the table. You're slicing it up.
Little
and eating
salt?
it. A little salt. And beautiful.
Right.
Some people at the Wright House, run by the chair there is Jerry Gillis.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying they can't wait to get the tomato, slice it up, and put it on bread and with mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's such a great summer treat. One of my fondest memories. My grandfather, who was not officially a master gardener, had a tremendous garden all his life, and that was the summer staple, the tomato sandwich. Just a little salt or mayonnaise, and the most amazing lunch treat for
Right.
growing up when you're at the shore in the summer. So that's really, really wonderful. Speaking of master gardeners, how does one become a master gardener?
Sue?
The Master Gardeners, they would come. We have an open house at the Rutgers Cooperative Extension on Whitesville Road at the Ag Center. We have an open house in late October, November, and people can find out some more. We give some talks, give a little bit more discussion about what's needed. You'll do 10 weeks of classes with training through staff and Rutgers instructors. And then you will have 60 hours worth of training, volunteer training that we bring out to give back to the public. And then the following years, it's less. But as interns, we have a group of interns that just finished their training and are raring to go and are very enthusiastic about helping us this season.
That's
So
great.
so everybody little at a time. But
It's an art and a passion.
it is. It's a passion.
Right.
The art goes with it, but it's definitely you have to have the passion.
Right. That is great. Now, your organization provides these plants, soils, fertilizers. Identification services are available. I know that, Tom, we have here in Ocean County the only tick lab in New Jersey. Is
That's
that correct?
That's correct. We service all Ocean County, and sometimes we get people from Monmouth that come in with a tick or anything like that. We will not turn anybody away. We serve Jersey's Ocean County and Jersey is the home to 3 different ticks. The black-legged tick, which is known as a deer tick, a Lone Star tick, and the American dog tick.
And what tick did you bring with you today?
I brought a nymph Lone Star. It's very, very small, but it's engorged, so it was feeding off of the person who brought it in.
So we're going to probably not leave that on Jeremy's chair.
No, we'll take it with us.
Okay. Excellent. He will be very appreciative.
We will have on the 4th of June. We're having a symposium and tables and out at the library in Toms River, and I will be there along with others to ID.
Great.
Right,
So that will be the 4th of June at Ocean County Library's main branch, the Toms River location. Right. Excellent. More information to come. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to have much, much more with Susan, Tom, and Maryann, all from the Master Gardeners of Ocean County. I am so pleased to have you all with us this morning. This is a fabulous topic and certainly something that is near and dear to me. I'm Ken Malagier in for Jeremy Grunin. You are listening to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, live at WOBM-AM.com.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Make a difference at the Jersey Shore. 732-505-1160. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Ken Malager in for Jeremy Grunin. You are listening to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, streaming live at WOBMAM.com, 1160 and 1310 on your radio AM dial. I am very pleased that this year's planting season, Mother's Day weekend, and more brings the Master Gardeners of Ocean County into our studio today. With us is Susan Servideo, Tom Barnes, and Maryann Stickney. We are so happy to all be together today. Let's talk about the birds and the bees while we're all here together. More specifically, hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds are absolutely magnets for delight in the backyards or as you peer through your window blinds, looking at the morning sunrise. We have bee balm, butterfly weed, cardinal flowers, coral bells, a perennial, honeysuckle. We also have red columbine, salvia. A lot of people have salvia in their
and
backyard.
that comes back. Salvia, salvia will.
Yes,
absolutely. Mine is doing tremendously already. We had a mild winter, so I would imagine that certainly helps.
Right. Yes. And there is also the trumpet creeper vine, which can be put in a pot. Don't forget containers.
Great.
We can put different things in containers and watch it grow. Take it in the fall and bring it out in the springtime.
There you go, Zach, for your new condo. Don't forget, you can do pots. You don't have to have vast landscape to work with. You can actually dial it back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point for a lot of our listeners that don't have the space or the luxury of a large garden or yard. A lot of what we're discussing today can be just as beautiful, equally as beautiful, when well planted in pots.
Right.
Yeah.
Container gardening is a very, very big thing, especially in communities where they don't have the area to plant.
Or there's restrictions on what you can plant in the actual ground.
Vegetables do well in containers also.
Sure. And then if you find yourself competing with some of the natural fauna in the area, you can more easily move a container or guard a container than you can perhaps an open garden. So that's something to keep in mind too. So how about the bees? What's going on with the bees in our area, Susan?
Well, the bees, we have... you hear a lot in the media regarding the pollination and some of the honeybees and the colony collapse and things like that.
A bee crisis.
Yes.
Right.
There are, just because there's just the honeybees, there is a crisis on those, but there is a lot of native bees that we have here that are the smaller ones, the little ones that are on the daisy flowers and things. And you can bring those to your garden to help with pollinating your fruits and vegetables by having other plants mixed in or around the garden to help draw these bees in and get those plants pollinated so you get that fruit set.
What are some of the immediate benefits of having an annual garden pollinated, of planting those varietals that are going to really encourage natural pollination to happen? Will you actually yield a greater harvest?
Generally, yes, you do. This weather, unfortunately, is not going to be conducive with all this rain for that. But once we get some sun and some warm, the bees and everybody will be out pollinating the flowers, and that pollination, that cross-pollination is what's getting you the better fruits. Those people that save seeds, it's great for seed saving. That they'll get some cross, what do you want to call it?
Pollination.
Yes, cross-pollination between different...
Bring on the bees. We need the bees. They're not all that bad, and they're absolutely necessary in planting a successful garden. I know we try to be responsible when we're planting our garden. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of those things that perhaps are indigenous to our area, those plantings that we should be using, and of course we want to talk about the plant sale coming up and many other things from our Master Gardeners of Ocean County. We'll be back in just a bit.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Thank you for sharing part of your morning with us. I'm Ken Malagier in for Jeremy Grunin. You are listening to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, streaming live at WOBMAM.com, 1160 and 1310 on your radio AM dial, and on the Radio Pup app at 1160 News Talk Radio. We are so pleased to have with us this morning the Master Gardeners of Ocean County, Susan Servideo, Tom Barnes, and Maryann Stickney live in our studio. We are sharing so much information for our listeners. And Susan, you are a horticulturalist for Ocean County. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm one of the horticulturists on staff.
That is awesome. So what services are you able to provide, or do you provide perhaps to our listening audience?
At the Rutgers Cooperative Extension, people can come in and bring their plant samples if they need an ID. If they have something wrong, we ask they could bring a sample in so we could take a look at it, see if we can identify what's going on with it, give them information. That's what we do at the Cooperative Extension, that we give research-based information to try to help the customer figure out what they need to do.
Right.
We also, for our ticks, we do tick ID. We do not do any testing of the ticks there, but we can give you a list of testing agents that do. We do 4-H is also at our cooperative extensions, so we have a lot of programs for children, as well as family services with SNAP Ed and nutritional things. So we do a lot.
Where is this located?
This is located at 1623 Whitesville Road in Toms River.
Excellent. So everything is there. So,
yes.
So this is where the plant sale will be on the 7th. Right. So our listeners should definitely head out to visit your plant sale from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday, May 7th. But not least of all, become more familiar with all of the services that you provide from that facility, which not least of all is as you were mentioning, this plant identification services. The Tick Lab is there, right, Tom?
Right. The Tick Lab is open from 9 o'clock until 3.
Excellent.
And you can bring them in. As Susan said, we ID them. We'll let you know what ticks carry what diseases.
Right. Put a little collar on them.
Oh,
little
yeah.
leash. Yeah.
Definitely.
You can walk them around. Excellent.
Just to say that last year we had 221 deer tick, which broke the bank on the record.
Wow.
That we were.
What makes for a higher population of a tick season? Is it weather related, Tom?
Weather related affects people going out into the areas where the ticks live.
Right.
So the more people that go out, the more ticks that come in. Mm-hmm. But you can also see them if you do a tick drag and go out. They're always out there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you have to remember that the ticks do not hop. They're on the ground, and if animals
they don't
pass
jump,
by,
they don't fall from trees.
It's brushing against the actual tick, which would
exactly.
get them to jump on, not jump on you. But
they quest.
Attack.
It's called questing. They just wait. They pick up your scent as you go along in vibrations from howler organs in their front two legs, and they'll. If you brush against them, they're on you.
Right.
But they don't fall from trees. They don't jump.
Wow.
And
well, that's great to know for our listeners, and that's why you're supposed to wear obviously high socks.
If you're going into the woods, you put your pants and you bring your socks over your pants.
Right.
But the best thing to do is spray down your clothes with DEET. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that keeps repelling them.
Will definitely keep them away from latching on. Maryann, I understand that the Master Gardeners do provide a speaker volunteer series, or volunteer speakers are available. Where do most of your speaking engagements occur, and how can someone, if they're listening, that might want a Master Gardener to come to either their community or their organization, how can they reach you, and where are they speaking? Where are your speakers performing?
Bottom line, they all come from our volunteer organization. We have a great deal of fun in the Master Gardeners besides the love of gardening. And some of the topics that we cover are orchids. We have a unique gentleman, Larry, who does that particular talk, and Chuck as well. The other thing is we have hydrangea plant, pruning of shrubs, herbs, which is my little bailiwick. The other thing would be...
So that's a plug for your speaker.
That's true.
Right.
That's
if you
true.
want Maryann in your community, just ask for someone to speak on herbs. Excellent.
Okay. The other thing, too, we've got some unique people who do gardening on the barrier island. And that's very important because it's different from, as they call us, the mainland.
Right. So how is that different? If you're listening and you're on the Barrier Island, what are those quintessential varietals that you should be looking for, or what makes it so different when you're planting on the Barrier Island?
Right. Well, first of all, there's a water situation. You have the ocean breezes. Secondly, you have a very heavy wind situation there that we may not have on the mainland. And the soil is very, very different. It's primarily sandy, and you have to mix it with wonderful additives that you can either purchase or go down to the recycling center and pick up free mulch, compost, and that would help tremendously.
So natural additives, not synthetic or not necessarily created
right,
in a
because
lab.
we don't want to hurt the Barnegat Bay. We have enough trouble with all the cloud of fertilizers down at the bottom, and it's killing off the fish. And we really want to improve the Barnegat Bay. We've done a lot of inroads in that particular area, so it's important for us to know what is available and not. However, Speakers Bureau, just call 1623 Whitesville Road. Get on the horn, and we will provide you with a free volunteer. You have gardening groups. You also have the
we've done the Girl Scouts,
and also the community retirees.
Right, all the wonderful communities that are in our area. So that gives you a great amount of audiences that you can certainly speak to, which is a tremendous service in our community. I know that a lot of people love that they move to the shore for outdoor living. So part of outdoor living, of course, is enjoying the garden and the landscape in which you've created for yourself and your family and your friends to enjoy.
The other thing, too, is Linda, who is in charge of our annual greenhouse. She is wonderful in greenhouse installation suggestions, etc., because that's what she does for us as Master Gardeners. Her annuals are absolutely phenomenal, and we hope that you'll come to our plant sale. Also on June 4 at the Toms River Library from 10 to 3, we will have different people in annuals, perennials, herbs, shrubs, and trees.
That you can ask questions of.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Bring your questions. That's June the 4th, the Ocean County Library's Toms River branch. And just before we leave you for another break, many of the vegetables and fruits grown are actually then donated to the food bank. And last year alone, 9,337 pounds of edibles were donated to the food bank from the generosity of our Master Gardeners. So not only are you here for our community to answer our questions, you are doing good in a really real way. So we do appreciate that. Many thanks to you. If you have any questions for our Master Gardeners, we'll be right with you when we come back on the tail end of this break. 732-505-1160. You are listening to Wake Up with Jeremy Grennan. I'm Ken Malagier, in for Jeremy Grennan.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grennan. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grennan continues. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Thank you again for sharing part of your morning with us. I'm Ken Malagier, in for Jeremy Grennan, small business owner here on the Jersey Shore of Narcissus Florals, where we also have a 100% guarantee. Zach, thanks for playing us in with a Pro Flowers ad once again.
I apologize,
really
but you
holding
got
down the fort there. But ladies and gentlemen, with us this morning, we have the Master Gardeners of Ocean County in our studio today. Susan Servideo, Tom Barnes, Maryann Stickney. It is a real pleasure to have you all with us. And Maryann, you have some new news, some changing of the guard here happening at the Master Gardeners.
Yes, we do. We have an incoming new president, Jim Digney.
Congratulations, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's also in charge of the Speakers Bureau, so he can help the community leaders who will call in and ask for a volunteer to come to their organization. He's the man to speak
Excellent.
with.
And how can Jim be reached? Do we have the phone number for the organization?
It would be at the Master Gardeners 732 number.
732-349-1245. That's our helpline number. So if you have questions about the garden or some questions about what's going on in your garden that you would like us to help with, but it can also be reached there, or 732-349-1246, and that is for the agricultural building where we can get them the information on there.
Excellent.
Also, Jim is helping us with a great new project with the Veterans Administration, or the Veterans Affairs in Brick. We're doing a series of 10 classes with the vets.
Excellent. We have a huge veterans population here in Ocean
and we're
County.
Excited to start that. That's May 10th. We're starting that May 10th. So any other vets that go to the administration building up there, welcome to come
Excellent.
along.
And should the vets call in advance, or
they would call the Veterans Affairs office.
Excellent. So this is, if this morning's conversation has inspired you and you are a veteran, definitely dial up the Veterans Affairs facility, which is right in Bricktown, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent. And get on the list to join the conversation with the Master Gardeners. That's going to be a tremendous series.
Yes.
That is a great
All different
service.
gardening 10 classes, and we hope to maybe expand it to bring it to the homeowners as well here. But that's what we do with Speakers Bureau. We take some of these different
pilot
topics.
Them.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
And what a better organization to pilot them than our veterans. So that's tremendous. So as I said, if this morning's conversation has inspired you and you are a veteran, reach out. This series will be available to you. This has been a great pleasure to be with you, Tom. Thanks for all your help with the Tick Lab and identifying that and kind of just taking that aura off of what surrounds the ticks, and that there is help. They can go somewhere, have it identified, and know if it's an issue.
And also, the 4th of June, we'll be there to ID the ticks at the library.
Excellent. And Tom is taking with him the tick that he brought in this morning. Jeremy, I promise. Maryann Stickney, I've had the pleasure to speak to your garden club as a florist, and I really appreciate you being back with us this morning here on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin.